You got mail. Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next hour or so, along with Gal.
Hello, everybody. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Hey,
Hey.
Hey,
and,
buddy.
and Nick is here.
Hey, good
Hey.
day, pal. Don't call me pal, friend.
And Spence is here.
Good morning.
Good morning. Katie is busy doing other stuff. Our number is 561-518-9773, and today's show is made possible by vMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. So, how was your week?
So I've got a little bit of an update
Okay.
on my Windows issues. They are not resolved, but back a few weeks ago, to play the Battlefield 6 beta, you were required to have SecureBoot turned on, which I was pretty confident I had turned on, but apparently I did not. So I don't know if maybe during a BIOS update or something it had switched itself off. And since enabling SecureBoot, my issues with Windows, which were pretty much daily, are now maybe once a week. Same issue, but not anywhere near as frequent. So I don't know what that tells me. Could be placebo, possibly. I don't. It doesn't seem like placebo.
it tracks actually. Search for any disabled drivers because what SecureBoot does, right, is activate the TPM chip and use its cryptography lock to make sure that nothing is changed. So when you are without SecureBoot, there are things that can work, and when you are with SecureBoot, there are things that will be just flat out denied. It might be a driver for something that you really don't care, right? And it's just now that SecureBoot is on, it can do whatever it needed. There might be something in the logs, an error or something, but it doesn't affect your daily use. So that's worth
I don't even
looking at.
I don't know how you view disabled drivers. I didn't know there was a way to do it. I mean, I guess if you go into device, go into device manager and view hidden devices, but that's a
okay,
disabled device.
So if you go in device viewer, you'll have some devices with the yellow icon, but I'm not even talking about that because that might still it might not even load it at all. So use something like auto runs from sysinternals, run it as administrator, and then there are different sections, and you can check that. One other thing to check: there's an old tool. It's not really developed anymore, but it still exists on some private Git. It's not GitHub. It's like a private Git repo somewhere. It's called Ghostbuster. I'll try to find the link and I'll send it in chat if I can find it quickly.
Okay.
And what that will do, it will list all of the things that this system ever loaded, and it allows you to clean those up. Sometimes every time you push in a USB key or a USB keyboard, if you plug it in a different port, it'll create a new entry in the registry somewhere, right? And then the next time you plug it into the same entry, then it will remember it. So that's just an example of what a ghost might look like. Every time you load a drive, it loads a bunch of drivers to address that. Windows does it automatically in the background, but it also keeps those entries for the next time that drive might be visible. So if you clean them up, then you can install fresh, right? So there might be a difference between you booting with SecureBoot and booting without SecureBoot in how that list looks like. So that's stuff for like if you enter another troubleshooting session, that's stuff to remember.
All
Interesting.
right, I will take a look. Yeah, I've been impressed. Let's see, I can look and see Task Manager what my current uptime is. 3 days and 1 hour. So been rolling, and I don't remember if I rebooted because I was having issues or I just rebooted to reboot. But it's typically only been once, maybe twice a week versus it every day prior. So playing video games
but
helped. It's funny though. In all of my, I'm not going to relitigate the entire thing, but in all of the problems and struggles that I've been having, at no point did I ever see any recommendation to enable Secure Boot.
Well, keep in mind, Windows 11 isn't supposed to work without SecureBoot.
I mean, yes, and it was installed with Secure Boot. Maybe it was it not Secure Boot. There was something I had to enable. There was something I had to enable for Battlefield
There
6.
is something that security dashboard alerts about, and that's memory integrity something.
No, it was. That's exactly what it was. UEFI Secure Boot was not enabled. TPM was enabled. Your UEFI Secure Boot was not. I don't know if I've done a couple of BIOS updates over the last year, or over the last couple of years. I don't know if one of those turned it. Well, it's possible. I installed it. This was a fresh install of Windows 11, so there's no way it would have installed without Secure. So yeah,
Something wiped it. Yeah,
possibly. Yeah. That's my update. We're not having to reboot twice a day now, which is nice.
Yeah.
Or it's because you're playing a video game all day and nothing else is working.
Yeah.
That is also a good point.
Yeah.
So how's the game?
The game is great. The game is good. Games are expensive now. I think it's $80, $79.
Oh, wow.
$69.99. They went from $59 to $69 to I think it's Battlefield 6. It's going to be $79.
And there's no like cheaper tier.
No, that is the base cost, and that's not just a PC thing. You're seeing similar things on even the new Nintendo Switch and the Xbox and PlayStation. That is the new between 69 and 79 is the new MSRP starting for any AAA made ready kind of game. Which is unfortunate.
Did any of the LLM hype find itself into gaming?
I mean, I'm sure they used it for generating dialogue and stuff. Yeah. That would be my guess. I mean, from a game design standpoint, it'd be great if you can have dialogue and stuff created by that instead of paying somebody to do it.
Yeah, but like I'm actually thinking about a live inference. Like, when you interact, do you feel like you're working with a ChatGPT like engine in the back end? That's
that with Battlefield 6. No, the only thing that's available is the multiplayer beta. So there's no story in that. You're just yelling obscenities and mean words with other people online.
So it's collecting that for the saved game, for the offline game.
Which is a real thing, because all of these services might remind you that whatever you put in your voice chat, you could be subject to banning, which I can't confirm whether that has not happened to me.
Okay, so let me ask this: all of the voice chatting, is there any transcription of that while you're playing the game?
I believe that they're transcribing it on the back end.
Oh, so nothing visible.
No, nothing visible that's public, at least from my knowledge. But I suspect that they are doing a rip and read of, well, not read, but rip and read of the transcripts when somebody is yelling certain words over and over and over and over again.
Isn't that what the internet's for? Is to yell certain words at each other?
Yeah, I mean that's what I was under the impression of. Yeah, that's how I grew up. Yeah, and then bastards
guys,
have ruined everything. I mean, that's also true. So was VHS.
When they first reached the maximum user audience. I had to switch to something else.
All right.
You got any porn in there, Amnon? Any porn stories?
No, sorry.
Any interesting technology?
Microsoft has removed the ability to disable automatic app updates in the Microsoft Store, according to screenshots from deskmodder.de. Windows users can now only pause updates for 1 to 5 weeks. The register tweak that previously allowed users to modify update behavior has been removed. Group Policy Editor remains the sole method for creating update exemptions on workstations and enterprise systems, but this tool is unavailable in Windows Home editions. The change is being deployed gradually to all Windows users. Microsoft has not commented on the modifications, which affects all apps distributed through the Microsoft Store, including both UWP and Win32 applications added in 2024.
I think this is great. This is no different than your phone. This is no different than your,
right.
If you have an iPhone or an Android device, you go to use an app and it tells you have to update.
Yep.
These are not programs. These are apps through the store. I don't think you should be able to disable those permanently.
I'm wondering
the
why the ability was built in to begin with.
Well, I mean, like anything else, there's always the risk of a bad update. So you get to, delay it for a little bit. But
yeah, so you delete.
Again, as much crap as people want to give Microsoft, this is what is required to make it sure that the operating system is safe and secure and capable of running.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not.
I
think I know I use one app regularly from the store. I think I've got some others installed, but I use one religiously. And I don't ever update it. I assume it updates itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like on the phone. Either it does it or it tells you to.
Yeah. I should go check right now.
Organizations still using default Microsoft 365 email domains face severe throttling starting this October. The restrictions target the onmicrosoft.com.
On Microsoft, yeah.
Yeah. That Microsoft 365 automatically assigned to new tenants, limiting
Who the hell's using those?
I guess when
not
you
supposed to be used at all.
It's a staging URL almost.
But right, but here it is. Limiting external messages to 100 recipients per day, starting October 15. Microsoft blames spammers who exploit new tenants for quick spam bursts before detection. Affected organizations might acquire custom domains and update primary SMTP addresses across all mailboxes, a process that requires credentials updates across devices and applications. So it's like if somebody just says, I want to use 365, and that's what they do.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
And
Unfortunately, but
and it's really not going to affect anybody who is in this category because it'll be a personal use kind of that you don't do much.
Yeah, and you could see a situation where folks are looking at, and maybe they do a demo of 365 or do some sort of thing, and the email address is just kind of living in the ether for a period of time until Microsoft kind of axes it on their end. So yeah, 100 per day is a pretty significant throttle. You're not going to be able to get a whole hell of a lot done.
You're not going to be able to spam. I mean, really looking at the logs on Delta Force, the biggest spammers is Microsoft and Google.
Oh, their accounts are free, no question about it.
Yeah. So this will probably do something to reduce it, which is nice.
I get a bunch of. I need to figure out how to deal with this. I get dozens of DMARC reports into my email every day. I need to figure out how to disable that.
Yeah, you need to make sure that it's set up right.
Well, it's so I use this email address through a mail. I have a mailing list that I send a daily email out to. It's about 300 people. So every day I get these aggregate reports from Microsoft and Google and Yahoo and all of Comcast and all of these other email providers, and it's just a zip file with a bunch of data in it.
But is this being sent out by a list server or just through your email?
It's being done through a third party that has email access. It's a service. It's equivalent. It's not MailChimp, but it's an equivalent service to MailChimp. It's a mass mail program.
And and you set it up?
Yeah. It's all configured, and I had to go through and do the whatever records were required for them to send mail on my behalf through the server and everything like that. But I get all these aggregate DMARC and DCAM things, and they're huge. My entire inbox is full of them.
We have one customers on Mailman that Gmail will throttle the mail because they said it's not passing the tests, but it's the only one. And Ron went with a fine-tooth comb. He said everything is the same. It's the same as all the other ones. Something about it. Don't know. LibreOffice 25.8 has landed. And while it packs in new features and speed improvements, the biggest headline is who just got left behind. If you're still running Windows 7 or Windows 8 8.1, this is the end of the road. LibreOffice will not run on those systems anymore, and there are no workarounds. The suit has slammed the door shut.
Well, hold on. There is a workaround, though. You just install an older version of LibreOffice.
Yeah, you could. Or you can upgrade.
You just can't run 25. I still have a computer.
Sure. If you're running Windows 7 and you're connected to the internet, that's on you.
Well, I mean, that's not the point.
I have a Windows 8.1 machine connected to the internet.
That's Gal, that's not the point.
I'm talking about honeypots.
I mean, remember, I was running Windows 7.
It's not a honeypot. This is I have one of those little crappy Intel stick computers that I use for my home assistant dashboard, and it's running Windows 8.1.
Yeah.
There's nothing on it except for Opera, because Opera is the only browser that will run and supports any sort of modern plugins. It chugs along. I don't think this machine is capable of running Windows 10. So, and I tried Linux. Yep. I already ran Linux on it, and it sucked.
But
if you say so.
Well, it's I think it's because of the architecture of this machine. I had to constantly restart it. The display would constantly go out, and it would lose its network connection. I tried to do my best. I ran something modern, and it was such a huge pain in the ass that I just dipped back to 8.1.
God,
I have my tiles.
The it's on you argument can be said also if you're running Windows 10 after it ends, whether you get patches or not. It's on you. Yeah, it's on you, but I mean, it's fine. I like I said, I was running XP for years on a machine here that was streaming until about 2 years ago.
Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah, but it was fine and never got hacked.
But that machine was not on 24/7, was it?
Yeah, it was. That was the.
Was that your audio streamer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's on you, but it's something that it's not the end of the world. If you're using it like Nick said, hey, all I have on it is this.
it's not
It's
the
not.
end of the world, but it's akin to never locking your front door.
No.
Right? If you live in a neighborhood where nobody will ever try to open that door without knocking first, then yeah, you're fine. But the moment you connect it to the internet, right, that's not the case.
Yeah,
So
but I can
that
argue.
machine that you talked about was only exposed to the internet via a single port.
Yeah.
And that single port was running an updated version of a software, right? So it's
No.
not as if the OS was, you would update that piece of software, I hope.
No.
At least when there were a security update.
There was no update. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Gal, this here, the other side of it is, yeah, the front door is not locked, but there's nothing inside. Hey, come on in.
That's not true. It's connected to your internal
No,
network.
yeah,
So
yes.
it's a way in. So that to say
Well,
it's nothing inside, that's the mistake. That's the risk. If you
it's
have an old webcam that you bought, I don't know, 10 years ago, and it was never updated for patches, and it's accessible through an app on your phone, for example, keep in mind that that webcam is running a full-blown web server. And that web server, if it hasn't been patched for security patches, is basically a way into your network. And once something figures out, and that something would be just some sort of automated bot, it won't really care that it's you, it's nothing personal, right? But the moment something figures out that that web server that isn't patched is listening to the world, it can find a way in, and it's in your network. And that means that any unpatched system inside your network is also exposed. That's the way you need to think about it. That's the way you need
that's
to
the
think
way
about security these
everybody
days.
should think about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. AI. Turns out Google's AI overviews has returned fraudulent customer service phone numbers in multiple reported incidents. You know how you go to Google and at the top it has the AI stuff?
No, I got it.
You what?
No, I got it. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, a lot of people were getting uh, spams, scams, and all kind of stuff through that AI because it's there and it's all automated, and the bad guys figured out a way how to do it. So be careful if you're clicking on anything in there. Read, yeah, read, but I wouldn't act on it. It's not.
Remember the domain of the supplier that you bought from, and go there and make sure you're in their site.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is go to the site. Don't do it
Yeah.
from there. Absolutely. Another thing that's going to be a problem for people. Said we are reaching out to provide an update on TurboTax desktop software for tax year 2025. After October 14, 2025, Microsoft will no longer provide software updates, technical assistance, or security fixes for Windows 10 operating system. Because security is a top priority for us, this is all coming from Intuit. TurboTax desktop software for tax year 2025 onward will not be compatible with Windows 10 operating system. To use TurboTax desktop software for tax 2025, your computer will need to run on Microsoft Windows 11 operating system. You can also consider switching to TurboTax Online, which will work on any supported browser. So,
yeah, but you see, they are they're going to lose customers. Like
Of
that
course,
is
some.
definitely because no, they had an opportunity here by saying we will continue to work on Windows 10, right? But they don't want to. They want to move people to the online version because that's easier on them, and I get that, right?
Yeah.
One thing one thing I'm against is don't tell people use the web browser if you can't run our software on Windows 10, right? Because that means, oh, you know what? We don't care about your security at all. You're running Windows 10 with a web browser. That means you're running something that can't be patched because Microsoft isn't supporting it, right? But you can access us, not a problem, right?
That's
It's
a good
okay that
point.
they're not blocking, but don't recommend using that. That's what I'm saying.
So what you're saying is they don't want you to use the physical version of
Right.
TurboTax on Windows 10, but if you're using a web browser on Windows 10 doing your taxes,
Exactly.
then yeah. So that's
Yeah.
interesting. I didn't think about it like that.
I'm wondering
it's a
how
very
many.
good point.
I'm wondering how many people are actually using the desktop.
Not many anymore. They've
Yeah.
pushed most people to online.
Right.
The desktop,
But then
and
again,
they have specifically ballooned the price of desktop to force people online.
Yeah, I know several accountants that are using online now, even though they're in the past they said, "Oh, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. It's too much money." They made it so that it's affordable.
Yeah,
or
they wanted to
a
push
better
you
alternative anyway, which I'm very happy for.
and keep in mind, those who are using the desktop are probably those who are still running Windows 10,
Yes.
right?
But you do have to
It's
buy a
like,
new one every year. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like a old copy of
yeah,
Word
I mean,
that you can run
the
forever.
online is the same thing.
Yeah.
You pay every year for a new access, but still, it's like they don't care about security. They just don't want to QA the old OS, right? Let's be clear.
Mhm.
And that message is exactly that. It's not about we care about your security. That's my point.
What I love about it is it takes away the risk. I've got uh, some people that were still running everything local and had terrible backup strategies I would try to fix every time I went into work there and get it straightened out, but they just would let it lapse and
Yeah.
not protect the desktops properly. And
Huh?
no, in one case, I had no password for the machine that had the open customer data on it was password. Literally.
Well, as long as it wasn't written on a sticky note sitting on the screen, that's always my favorite. Is we got a secure password. Here it is on a sticky note
In their defense,
on the computer.
this was a while ago, so they changed it. Instead of that, they changed it to like the name of the computer now was the password.
So next time, suggest 8 or 10 asterisks.
That's it.
That's brilliant.
Well, take
right?
the same
That's
password and just keep adding an asterisk to it every time you change it.
Maybe it's 8 asterisks. No. Maybe it's 7. No, maybe it's try 10.
Well,
All right.
I had an interesting purchase this week. I purchased a CarPlay wireless adapter.
Oh, I see the ads on Instagram for these things all the time. Let's tell us about it. Yeah.
I did some research. I found one that's basically the best rated I could find. I looked at articles, and so far, it's amazing how well it works. Just plug it into the USB. It has to be the USB port that you use for CarPlay to start with, right? So you have to have CarPlay enabled in your radio, or a feature on your radio. And I used to think, well, it's okay to plug it in, keeps my phone charged. Well, now I've been using it without plugging my phone, and I don't really see any difference in the battery life.
Oh, really?
No, I mean, it works all day without me having to charge it. So I used to think that, oh, I keep it plugged in, it'll always be topped off. I don't have to do that. I realized the battery will last all day with normal use without me plugging it in if I'm driving around. And what was interesting was that the menu that comes up is a little different than the one I had when I directly connect my phone. I saw more apps pop up on the menu, which I didn't realize that I would want to run VLC on my CarPlay. So, or what was the other one that was just so weird? Don't remember what app it was. It's like I would never use that when I'm driving. But so far, so good. It was.
Nice.
Let's see, what was the model? The names are all so weird. They're pretty much like one or two manufacturers and 30 companies that sell it.
How much, if you don't mind me asking, how much was it?
$39.
Wow. Okay. That's
And
stupidly cheap.
it does come with USB A, but it gives you a cable that would go to USB C if you have that in the car. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, the cars that don't support wireless CarPlay are the ones that are probably still USB A. Because I think most newer cars now that would come with USB C would have wireless.
Be surprised.
CarPlay.
They do not have wireless.
Really?
Oh, yeah. New ones still. A lot of them don't have wireless. Remember, we're talking about car manufacturers, not about software developers. They are 3 to 5 years behind on technology most of the time. So
my mother's got a relatively new car, and I'm pretty sure her CarPlay is wireless. It's probably 2 or 3. It might be 2 or 3. It's at least 2 or 3 years old, if not a little bit older.
And still, most manufacturers just haven't updated. I don't know if it's because of the licensing terms and stuff like that, but it's not there. I'm sure Apple and Android are pushing for the wireless versions these days, but I'm also guessing they charge more.
Another thing I bought this week. In my car, I have that auto shut off thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody have?
You mean when you come to a stoplight?
The engine turns off. Well, the EPA has removed their guidance on that because they were first pushing everybody to use it.
Yes.
Oh, it saves gas. It saves gas. Well, it's dangerous because you're in a left turn lane to go left in traffic, and you step on the gas, and it doesn't necessarily start immediately.
Yeah.
And then you go, and it's dangerous. And there are other things about it too. It wears out your motor mounts. It wears out your starter prematurely.
But they don't care about that.
Yeah. Well, it's hard on the engine. So now the EPA said, we're not saying you need to use this anymore because there are too many other safety factors that were not thought of before.
What does it take to disable it?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Some new cars, the one I was following was Subaru Outback. One model of Subaru Outback lets you go in and disable it. But of mine, the 24 Forester does not. And they haven't predicted when they might enable that feature. So there's a company, you can find it on Amazon. They're the pioneers of this that will give you basically a jumper cable that you can put in place that will disable. Well, it doesn't disable the feature. What it does is it makes the system remember the last setting you picked, on or off.
So it's almost memory. It's remembering the state.
It's a memory thing. So that's what makes it so it doesn't defeat any other features. So on my car, the button was down on the left bottom dashboard. So if you want to turn it off, you don't remember when you first start the car to turn it off. While you're driving, you have to turn your head down to see it. It was really hard to see. So Larry Lawrence, who's blind, has all kinds of tricks that he uses on his keyboard, little buttons and things, microwave. He gave me one of his little buttons that you put on the switch so I could feel it, which was wonderful. And that worked for a while, but I would always forget the first time. So now I installed this wire harness. It's a pass-through cable to pop the panel off of the overhead console. And you plug it in, it works great. Just remembers the last setting.
Okay, so hold on. Where you plug you said this is like a pass. This is not a connecting to the OBD2 sensor. Where's this hooking in?
No, this is there is a connector. If you look at the upper console between the two visors, right? It's got a couple of switches there for traction control and some other stuff.
Sure.
And a switch for the sunroof. But you pop off a trim panel and you take some screws out and you drop that panel down. And there's a big circuit board and a processor in there that does what they call eyesight, which is the lane tracking and cruise control, collision avoidance, all that stuff. But you disconnect that connector. The cable itself is maybe 6 or 8 inches long, and you plug it in between the two cables, the male and female connectors, and it's got a little circuit board on it. And you shove that back into a little space, you close it up, and it works.
Hot damn.
Yeah, but it's $99.
Oh,
But this is the company that pioneered this. It's made in the United States. There's lots of knockoffs and terrible complaints about your
car not working anymore.
No, but I mean, they just say it fails. It doesn't work. It stops working. And also, I don't want to void my warranty by frying my system somehow.
$99 seems worth it to never have to screw around with that stupid ass button.
And they have support. You can call them. They have people that you can talk to. But it's so simple. I mean, it's not like you have to do
was this
anything.
device made specifically for your Subaru?
Yes.
Or
because there's all.
What's the name of the company? They make a whole bunch of other ones.
I'll look at I bought it on Amazon. So
because I would imagine this is. I guess it's good that they were able to kind of reverse engineer it in the Subaru. I wonder if they're able to do something similar for all of the other major.
I'm sure they have it. I mean, it's probably just
it depends on where there's headers.
Yeah.
Where I mean, you can always do it, but to Spence's point, how many people are going to? Well, if there's no header, how many people are going to solder some sort of bypass in or whatever? I mean, I would, you guys would, but 99% of consumers are not.
So here is that's the cable.
Oh, so it's a pretty. Oh, you said it's a pass through, so it's passing through all of that other stuff.
Yep. And it's got the circuit board. When you plug it in, a light comes on the circuit board to say that it's active. And then it's well made. I said it was made in the USA. I'm not sure that's the case. The label looks like it's not. But the so
that's where you installed it?
This is what you do in a Subaru. You pop these panels out, and you plug it in to the connector, and you shove it back in there.
Gotcha. So that connector was already plugged in for all the other controls, and you just run this cable
just
through
putting
as
it
a bypass.
inline feature.
Gotcha.
So,
and so the name of the company is 4D Tech.
4D Tech. Yep. Auto Stop Eliminator, and they have. You just look up your car and they'll have the cable. So I was happy with it.
Wow, I'm on their website and it looks like they sell this for a bunch of different cars. Kia, Genesis, GMC, Lincoln. It goes on and on.
It is extremely, extremely annoying to me.
Literally, I'm looking at this. The only thing I don't see Volkswagen. That's the major brand I don't see. Pretty much everything else: Chrysler, Ford, Dodge, GMC. No Hyundai. Yes, no Honda. So no Honda, no VW. Nissan is on there. Subaru, Toyota. Interesting.
Could be that those cars have
a way to defeat
an option to just disable it, right? So
possibly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
This is, and it looks like pretty much it looks like across the board that these are $99 cables, kind of regardless of where you're buying it or what kind of car you're buying it from.
And it's interesting to look through. If you go to that page on Amazon, it'll have suggested stuff below it. Oh my gosh, it's like
it's funny. Some cars, I'm looking at one for this is a Lincoln, and this is an OBD2 plugin. So I guess some cars make that feature available from that sensor. That's easy as hell. You just plug that thing in and you're done.
OBD2 should, now it's probably I don't know I guess it would be proprietary, but the OBD2 is what car manufacturers use to connect their computers to this car. That's over and above what you can do with your little scanner.
Yeah.
Some scanners are more diagnostics.
It's what?
No, you can control.
Just for diagnostic,
control,
right? It's just
you
for
can
reading usually.
You can control
make changes,
pressure. You can pressure, oil. You can do guys that do like performance cars they've got all of these things connected through OBD2, so they can dial in oil pressure and a whole bunch of stuff. It's pretty amazing. And Ford, it's the same way. This is a Ford Escape 17 through 19. Same thing. It's the OBD2 plug. That's pretty neat.
I've been wanting to buy a more sophisticated. I have a very good scan tool that my son got from me years ago. I still use it. I have 2 of them now. And you plug it in and it does, you can do diagnostic testing. You can do, like I figured out how to set up a new catalytic converter using it. But what I would love to be able to do is anti-lock brake systems are very hard to bleed. And there are settings in OBD that you can go in and open and close the valves inside the anti-lock brakes to make sure that you successfully bleed them. And if you don't have that, it's a real, I did it with my truck and I still haven't, it isn't quite right because it's a little spongy, but I don't have that feature.
Yeah, the OBD2 is the ultimate thing to control everything
in the car
that's controllable.
Yes.
On the car. Yeah.
This
Features.
Company, man, this company is legit. For every single product they sell, they have a tutorial video and pictures for your specific model car.
Nice.
They must be making I bet you they're making a killing. Spence, how many, can you see how many reviews this thing has on Amazon? I'm curious what kind of throughput they're doing.
Let's look.
Because the fact that they've got this much documentation for all of these different cars is they must be making a killing on these. There's no way this thing costs $99.
10 reviews.
That makes sense though, because it's a very specific model.
Yeah, if you change it to a different car.
Yeah.
All right, let's see now. I've got the 2019 to 21. I'll click on that one. Still 10. So it's a Subaru review that they're doing.
I mean, a lot of people will not do anything. I mean, how many were sold, does it say?
There's a website to check that, isn't there?
So
sometimes they'll tell you here how many sold. Oh, that's eBay does that automatically. But
I mean, I'm looking at like there's one right here for the some Ford car. It's got 250 reviews, 500 plus bought in the last month. Most of the other ones have 100 plus bought, which again makes sense because you're talking about, like in this case, this is the Ford Ranger 2024 to 2025. It's 2 model years. So there's only so many of those, 100 plus bought. So this company's got to be making a fortune because these cables can't cost more than probably $15 to make.
Maybe.
That. There's nothing on there.
Yep.
So, well, capitalism, it works again.
Nothing wrong with that.
Here you got next to it below, you've got an auto start eliminator compatible with Honda Pilot, $18.99.
Ah.
Anyway,
so I just chose to go with the one that's rated really well.
Yeah.
Blue Sky.
The great Blue Sky app
has blocked access to its service in Mississippi rather than comply with a new state law requiring age verification for all social media users. Instead of
Blue Sky considered social media?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Isn't that the one that what's his name?
Oh, I'm thinking of Blue.
Twitter.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Blue Stack. My apologies.
Oh,
which is an Android emulator. My bad.
Blue Sky is the alternative.
The Twitter that nobody uses.
Yeah. So he said instead of requiring age verification before users could access age-restricted content, this law requires age verification of all users. That means Blue Sky would have to verify every user's age and obtain parental consent for anyone under 18. The company notes that the potential penalties for non-compliance are hefty too, up to $10,000 per user. $10,000 per user. So to say, okay, so no Blue Sky in Mississippi.
I mean,
they're going to have to
it's
get
the right
on track.
approach. It's the right approach.
Why?
because it puts it on the state's population. If you want to deal with this, right, you find a way to get to us. Your state is blocking us, right? They're censoring us, basically, or whatever. Like that's the approach, right?
They're putting
And
a
so
hurdle.
you,
They're not censoring.
right? If you want to pay for VPN, then let's put it on the VPNs, and I don't need to deal with it. They're not. Remember, they're not as popular as other networks at this point, right? So if you want to participate from a state that blocks it, or from a country that blocks it, like China, figure out a way.
The reason
fine.
I think this is stupid is that many other states are in the process or will be going through the process of this in a relatively short amount of time. And so,
Right.
unless they are active, hopefully, if they want to stay competitive, which I'm not sure that they actually do, they are going to need to figure out a solution to this, because I would suspect within the next 12 to 24 months, there could be a dozen plus states that have the same, if not a similar requirement. I know that North Carolina is working on some similar legislation to that right now.
Yeah, but again, I say the reaction to this is the right reaction. Instead of just folding in, right? If the state has provided a mechanism, like a foolproof mechanism that says this is how we accept identity, right? And if you want to use it within this state, you can, then great. We'll use that, fine. But now it means that they need to develop their own, or they need to buy something that might not be compliant. At this point, make it the state's population's problem. And if they want to change it, then go vote and change it or whatever. But
It's bad for business. I mean, you have a social media outlet that you're trying to compete with Twitter. You should try and be making that available to as many users as possible. I mean,
okay.
It just
hold
seems
on,
like
hold on, hold on.
stupid. It just seems like bad business.
Not allowing spam is also bad for business, but we want to make sure, right, that spam doesn't exist. So there are certain things that we're going to fight for, and there are certain things that we're not going to fight for. What's right and what's wrong, right, is not always good for business. It's and sometimes the wrong is the good for business, and the right. It doesn't matter. If a state wants to work in a certain way, right, I say, sure, make it somebody else's problem at this point, because it's not the business model isn't about being accessible everywhere for any price. It's just, this is a platform. It shouldn't be the platform's problem, right, on how the state legislates access to it. They're not running in Mississippi. If they were a Mississippi a company, right, then yeah, they should find a way, right? Because if they are running from Mississippi and then they say everybody except from Mississippi can access our service, that doesn't make any sense to me. But they're running somewhere. It doesn't really matter where, right?
But it's funny
matter
because
if they're running the state or not.
But Blue Sky is complying with GDPR out of the UK, or the EU rather. So
but that doesn't require them to
verify age.
People verification.
No, but the point is, if they weren't complying with GDPR, they would not be able to operate in the EU, correct? I mean, isn't that
but remember
how GDPR
what
works?
GDPR requires from them: not to keep personal records.
Correct.
Right. So, and the ability to delete your personal records upon request. So, implementation-wise, it is correct to implement it globally, right? And it'll work. So it's not like they need to do something specific to EU users versus to US users. It just means they need to comply to these restrictions. Now, you're talking about age verification in a certain way that the government state, and if you can't verify it, then we're gonna sue you to oblivion. So, hey, I don't need this trouble at this point, and that's fine. If what you're talking about is a global requirement, right? Then of course, then every service needs to figure that out. There'll be a third-party service that takes the blunt of that, that does that. That the government uses ID.me, right? So and everybody will follow suit. But right now, it's this one outlier and maybe another 10 or 12. And I'm guessing, right, that the platform also wants to change, try to get popular popular response and try to change those legislation, because they are a problem, right?
So
they make sense in one spot, but just it means that something else is going to be broken. So at this point, yeah, step away.
So I'm reading an article from PC Magazine, which I would not call that a right-wing news outlet, okay? And this is what it says. Contrary to Blue Sky's post, House Bill 1126 does not require platforms to verify the age of existing users and new users, although its harmful material provisions do apply to any quote known minors on social media websites. Citing potential fines of up to $10,000 a user and Blue Sky's small resources compared to its centralized other social giants it's competing with, has announced that they will be blocking devices with IP addresses from Mississippi. So there seems to be some
easy path.
So it sounds like but it sounds like there's some they're claiming that they had to verify every user, but
Yeah.
according to this, House Bill 1126 does not actually explicitly require that for every single user.
Yeah, but it's not about what they explicitly require. That's the thing, and I get that. I get that the law doesn't explicitly say that. The law says that if I catch a minor getting bad info from you guys should have made sure that didn't happen, right? That's basically what the law says.
Sure.
And so,
but that's not what they're saying.
Fine,
they're saying
I
that
can't do that. I'm stepping away.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's bad.
I have a
makes
bit
no
of.
sense.
Let's put it this way: Truth Social can't even provide that.
Yeah, they could. I mean, if they wanted to, you use the service that everything else uses. You contract with ID.me and call it a day. The same way that they are universally blocking IP addresses from Mississippi, they could do the exact same thing with an ID.me or some other sort of verification service. So they have the ability to do it just for IP addresses in Mississippi. If that's the case, then just do that.
So you don't think? So you don't
have
think?
to do it for the entire country.
A moment ago you said bad for business, right?
Yes.
What if contracting with ID.me is bad for business for them? Like, that's a business.
How would it be bad for business? They're in the business. Let's be perfectly clear. Blue Sky is in the business of users. They are a free social network, and the way that like Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and every Google Plus and all these other services, LinkedIn, it is users, counts, active users, an audience. That is their business. I can't wrap my head around how it would be bad to have more users, even if they have to jump through an additional, just for new users, jump through an additional hoop of some sort of ID verification. I don't know how that's bad for their business.
No, let's step away.
No.
Blue Sky.
Let's not continue with this, because that's up to the company to decide what they want to do and what they don't want to do, and that's where
I'm interested at the technological question of why it's different. There is a technological reason for why it's different here. Blue Sky works differently than all of these other companies, right? They're not running just centralized servers that do that. Now you say, what they're saying is they're going to block, right, the IP ranges on the servers they run.
Correct.
It doesn't mean, now this is the important part, it doesn't mean that you cannot connect from Mississippi, right? You can't allow Mississippi users and IP addresses to connect to other services that connect to them, but they cannot, right, on their servers. They can't do that, because the moment they do that, it changes the entire infrastructure. Now, if somebody on the edges wants to create some sort of infrastructure of identification, they can, and maybe that will happen, and that'll be interesting to watch. But I get that the knee-jerk reaction is, let's block this. We'll make a political statement by blocking it, right?
Which is all Blue Sky's good
statement
for.
by blocking that, by stating that. But for now, right? Technological-wise, I'm also pushing for a technological solution that will come from that state. If it's important for the users there, right? Then somebody will start running their own servers that connect to Blue Sky. I mean, Blue Sky is a distributed network after all.
Mhm.
So it's not, I don't see this as just the action that is end all to do all. I actually see it as an action that starts something rolling that might prove that the choice of technology here was the right one.
I think you hit the nail right on the head when you said this is nothing more than a political statement. That's probably more than what it is than anything else. That's all. That's the business that Blue Sky's in.
I think it's partly.
Let me.
There's more to it.
Let me interject something here. John in the chat is saying, how do they verify? So how many ways are there to verify? So there is that service that will do it.
There's a
for
bunch of those services. Yeah.
Now, when I go to apply for membership, if I subscribe, do I need to prove my age, or I just put the stuff there and they go and do their
well, ID means
investigation?
You go on a video
No, wait.
Show your, no, I'm talking about services that do that, right? So the government, when you want to use the government online services today, you go through the ID.me process, in which way you sit in front of your webcam with your ID, and you show that you are the same person, right? Like it's similar to going to the DMV and showing your
okay. So that was
present.
Okay. So wait. So here's my point. Fake IDs are very easy to get with your picture on it. Yeah, if you look like you're 5 years old, it's not going to work. But 5-year-old is not going to go there. But if you're 16, 17, and you get the fake ID that says that you're 19 and it's got your picture on it, that's it. You've defeated the system.
Yeah, but you're not stepping in front of the bar because the card is scanned and the details are verified on the government's database, right?
Exactly.
What if it's not a government? What if it's a university ID?
Then you do not accept it. You only accept government ID.
All right.
That's
well,
easy.
Here's the thing, though. It wouldn't be relevant for a university ID because most of these sites are 13 is the 13 or 14 typically is the age for this stuff.
No, so I'm just saying,
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's no different. You can go, and I know for a fact, you can in North Carolina, you can go and get a scannable fake ID, one that when you go into a bar, they put it in front of some scanning machine and it scans and it passes and it goes through the system. If you have one of those, you can get around this. I mean, it's not completely foolproof, but there are, outside of ID.me, I mean, I had to verify my identity identity again for Instacart, which I don't use really at all. But every once in a while, I'll shop on it when I've got some spare time. I uploaded a copy of my driver's license front and back and took a picture of my face. And whatever service they're using, third-party service, they verified my identity. I mean, it's not they're not doing it themselves. Some company is doing it for them.
So
Uber's the same way. I mean, all these things verify.
So now I'm wondering, does the fact that you are going through ID.me and you are okay, or that everything is clear, and then somebody finds out that actually that user is underage, the fact that you did your part and you went through that company, does that protect you from being fine?
We don't know. That hasn't been tested in the courts yet.
Well, in reading the law from House Bill 1126, it says that social media platforms, quote, must make a reasonable effort to prevent or mitigate that. So
in that case,
somebody with a fake ID passing a third-party verification system, that would, to me, spark reasonable effort to verify their own.
And I doubt that subscribe for the company, for the platform to subscribe to ID Me is not going to cost thousands of dollars every month. And if they want
verification,
this is like insurance policy. Hey, pay them the few bucks for everyone instead of paying one time $10,000 for. Yeah, it's bad business. Any way you look at it, it's bad for
the only reason I say it's bad business is Blue Sky is trying to compete with the likes of Twitter and Instagram. It is trying to be a major social network. And that's why I'm saying it. That's my argument.
Hold on. X, Facebook, Instagram, they haven't done anything yet to address this request.
Facebook
this new law. Facebook is going through an ID process.
I believe they are. Yes.
I would think that they couldn't.
I'm pretty sure Meta is.
Which would be couldn't Instagram and operate in states that require it. Then
I'm pretty sure I haven't created. The problem is I can't create a new Facebook account. I'd be curious if I went through the process now, even in North Carolina, of creating a new Facebook account. I'm almost positive they do some sort of identity.
I've done it multiple times in the past 6 months. I've never once been hit with some sort of ID verification process.
Well, that may be, Gal, because your ID is already in the system, and when they verify it,
if I'm creating it.
Uh-oh. He froze.
They got him. Yep, they got him.
Stopped him. It was Facebook.
Yep, they stopped him. Yep, Facebook is on the Meta is on the prowl. He starts talking about Meta and he disappears from the internet. This is the big concern, folks.
I think Gal's hearing us, but his video is not updating.
Don't cross Mark Zuckerberg. This is what will happen to you. I just don't. Again, I'm not. This is not a political statement. It's you're trying to be a major player in the social media. For example, look. Here's an example of something in North Carolina. Back last year, for porn websites, all of them had to go. I think we talked about this on the show. The General Assembly passed a bill to require, 18 or 21 for online, whatever it is, for online pornography. All of those sites went through the process of introducing a verification, some sort of age. I don't know what service they're using for it, but
correct,
some sort
not
of
all of the sites.
Okay, the major players, no pun intended, the major player websites all went through this process of verifying the identity. Now, the same way that you would work around it in Mississippi with Blue Sky is with a VPN, which is what I'm sure the vast majority of people are doing. But that's the route that they made because, again, they want as much traffic to their website as possible. Mm-hmm. And if you are hell-bent on using those services and don't understand or can't figure out the way to use a VPN or some sort of other geolocation spoofer or modifier, then you have to verify your identity. They all could have closed up shop, but it would have been a stupid decision to do so.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm confident that they hate the fact that they have to verify the ID. I'm sure it has completely killed their user base in North Carolina on the sites that do enforce it. But the alternative is just shutting the door completely, and that to me just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
I didn't hear shut the door completely. I heard block IP addresses. That's what they're doing.
You're shutting the door for users in Mississippi.
For now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's an initial reaction that I'm thinking it's just the first play in a very complicated arena. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you are going full blown. I hate this, right? But this is just the first act. And it's going to play in a very different way, I think, than other things that we've seen. Because the technology here will allow it to play differently.
Very true.
And if they have a board of directors, they may come back and say, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, we need to do that."
There's no board of directors. There's
no the company.
Yeah. It's decentralized. There's no board. There's nobody to make decisions.
Well, I mean, clearly they do have some control, right?
I'm joking.
Some, but yeah. And you're right. They're still a private company, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's in a way a private company in its infancy. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and they may come next
Maybe they
week and
can
say,
prove
you know
something
what,
that we didn't think about.
we reconsidered, and okay, we're going to do it. But this is, like you say,
No, I
that's
actually
it
think
could be.
that won't happen. I think something else will happen. I think we'll see how Blue Sky can, I don't know, connect to something called Red Sky, and Red Sky will do the verification or whatever, and it'll be a single cohesive network distributed by separate entities or something like that. And this way, Blue Sky doesn't need to deal with it, and another company who wants to deal with it will do it. I think
Yeah,
that's what we're going to see. Like that's a one possible way that this can play out, and that's a good way because that shows that there's no centralized there isn't a way of controlling from just one chair, right? Which was the problem that we saw with all of the social media up until now. It is too controlled, right, by whoever's running them. And this might be the first instance where, okay, you want it different, then let's allow something different to happen.
we'll have to wait
In
and
a way,
see.
I see this change an optimistic one. It'll allow stuff from all over the world eventually to maybe connect properly, applying to each of the local laws and still being able to converse properly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Time will tell. All right. It's that time of day. Anything else anybody wants to add here?
Watch the launch today, 7:30 p.m.
Who's launching?
Starlink. I'm
Oh.
sorry, Starship.
Oh,
Starship
okay,
10.
nice.
10, yeah. Lots of new changes, different technology, things they've done to repair. What happened with the explosion, they actually did the static firing at the launch site instead of over at the other facility.
Hmm.
They changed things around. They temporarily set it up for that, and then they moved it back into being a launch site. So they move incredibly fast. Just
It is
amazing.
amazing. Yeah. Because when did that blow up? Like what, 3 months ago? 3, 4 months ago?
No, it was only
So-
like a month and a half ago.
Was it that
No.
short ago?
What's that?
Was it that short ago?
Yeah, I think
Wow.
so. Well, I'll look it up. It was
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's
it was
been.
SpaceX.
number 9.
Yeah, I remember the previous company I worked for, when I did support for them, one of the customers was SpaceX. And I remember what I found like intriguing is the web browsers, the default web page that it opens on is a set of countdowns. Everything is counted by the second, right? And so the next launch or whatever, right? The next, it's at the top, and below it there's another countdown and another countdown. It's like the entire company is like on call immediately. This is the priorities are set and in the face all the time. It's yeah, it was an interesting glimpse inside.
All right, so it's at 7:30.
7:30 p.m. Yeah, that's
Okay.
the earliest they can launch.
All right.
And Nick, the explosion was in June.
Oh, wow. Okay. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
months
it
ago.
seems like a lot of time, but
Pretty short.
can you imagine if it had been at NASA, it'd be 2 years before they
20.
try to do anything again. Oh.
All right. Well, that's it for today. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Gal. Thanks, Spence. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie and Dana, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov, and Yael. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive, update your virus scanner, and change any same password wherever you use it. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computerstokenow.com. Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 a.m., Nick hosts the Carolina Journal News Hour on WBT in North Carolina, 11:10 a.m., 99.3 FM, and it's also on YouTube, so you can watch it anywhere. Also, Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m., Nick hosts the Nick Craig Show at nickcraig.com. So just go to nickcraig.com and get all the information where to watch it and when and download. Have a great week. We'll see you again next.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.